What's going on YouTube? So the Audi Q7 is Audi's second most popular vehicle, and just last year they gave it a very extensive refresh both on the outside and the inside. Now for 2021 they're making a few updates and adding more standard features. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check it out and see if this is the luxury 3-row to buy. So like I already mentioned, Audi did extensively refresh this exterior last year. So that means that the Q7 gained all the latest Audi design cues. So up in the front, you've got that signature octagon grille with the latest design. You normally would have chrome bars that run vertically down through there. However, this specific model here, we have the black optic package, so that obviously is going to black everything out, though not as extreme as what you have on like the Audi Q8. Now, coming over here to your headlights, these are also redesigned. You have full LED headlights across all of the trim levels, and on this model here with the Prestige package, we have the Matrix LED headlights and the dynamic turn signal. Now, as far as your wheel options, you do have the same ones as last year. So on your Premium and Premium Plus trim levels, you'll start out with 18-inch alloys, and then when you go up to the Prestige level, that's where you'll get 20-inch alloys. Now obviously we've got some black optic wheels here. These are 22-inch alloys which are available, like I said, on the Prestige. Now coming up here to your mirrors, we do have a change for 2021, and that's the fact that blind spot monitoring is now standard on every single version of the Q7, and that's in addition to the also standard heating and power folding. Now if you go for the Premium Plus trim level, that's where you'll get auto dimming.
Now before I get around to the rear design, I do want to point out a few black optic exclusive touches. One of those is going to be this piece right here, which is black. It would be silver on the other models, and they're also going to black out the window surrounds as well as the roof rail. Now as far as the rear design itself, you are going to have that signature classy Q7 design that you had last year. So that's going to be these full LED taillights with the dynamic turn signal, and you have this chrome piece going between them, even on this black optic model. And then dropping down in this unit, we have the reverse light, and down below that we have the diffuser, which is changed for the black optic. They black everything out. You would otherwise have a chrome trim that kind of mimics an exhaust outlet, even though it is fake. Now Audi's going to throw in a few safety systems standard across the Q7 lineup, and that's going to be your forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, as well as your auto high beam headlamps. Now they do offer the more advanced systems, however that's going to be included in the driver's assistance package, and that is going to be standard in the Prestige model, however optional on the Premium Plus. That's going to include stuff like traffic jam assistant, adaptive cruise control, as well as your lane keeping assist. Well guys, that sums up the really stylish yet classy exterior design of this Q7 black optic. So let's go ahead and hop on the inside, where I know Audi has put a lot of luxury before we take it out in a spin. And before we do all of that, be sure to really help us out by hitting that subscribe button down below.
So of course on the Q7 you will continue to find the standard Audi Smart Entry system with their newest key fob design. And to get inside the vehicle itself, just grab behind the handle since there is a sensor. And taking our first look inside of the cabin, you will not notice any big changes as far as the design is concerned, because this just had a full interior renovation last year. Let's go ahead and talk about your different interior color and material options, because you do have quite a few. So all the models are going to come with real leather seating and your choice of black, Saega beige, Okapi brown, or Metro gray. However, if you choose to have the luxury package, that's where you'll get upgraded to Valcona leather, and that also comes in black, beige, brown, or gray. Additionally, the different wood trims, there are a couple that you can choose between. Now turning over here to your door trim, you'll notice nice materials. We have a leather that covers all of the armrest material, and new for 2021, this is now standard on the Prestige level. We have more leatherette above that. It is soft touch along the top, and we have some wood trim through here. Of course, you have standard 2-person memory seating, and all 4 of your windows will be one-touch automatic. So going down here at your seats, this is the standard 8-way power adjusting seat with 4-way lumbar support. However, you can get an 18-way power seat with massaging abilities on the luxury model. And then, like I was already mentioning, we do have real leather seating with a nice, attractive design. Now, for those of you not familiar with the Q7, Audi completely redesigned this cabin just last year. So, of course, that is going to carry on for 2021. So across your upper dashboard, this is going to be a soft touch plastic. However, you can get an extended leather package, which will finish the top of the dashboard in a leather material as well as the top of the door trims. Dropping down below that, you have piano black trim that runs through the middle area and blends in with the screen. We have some wood trim that runs through here. And then along the side here, you have more wood trim as well as a leather material that runs along the side with a stitching detail. And of course, everything in here is going to fit together very well. Now, standard on every Q7 is push button start. And I do believe that they redesigned this button to be black this year. Now, of course, once everything starts up, you will be greeted with Audi's signature virtual cockpit system measuring in at 12.3 inches, and it does continue to be fully reconfigurable with lots of different options, including making Google Earth Maps take up nearly the entire thing. Now, in addition to that, you will also notice you have a head-up display if you choose the Prestige trim level. Coming back to the steering wheel, you have electric power assisted steering and a nice leather wrap steering wheel, which is going to be power adjusting across all the models. Heating is going to be included with the cold weather package on most models, and it is standard here on this Prestige level. Let's go ahead and dig into interior storage, because it is a 3-row crossover after all. Now, just like we said in past reviews of the Q7, there's actually not a great deal of storage after this interior redesign last year. So you notice underneath the center console it's pretty small. You have a little area that's felt lined, and then the rest of it is going to be used as a wireless phone charging pad on Premium Plus and Prestige. Now, when we get out our coupons, there's not really a good way to fit them in here, but we can kind of fold them and stuff them in there, and they'll probably stay when you fold that down, but they don't fit very well. And then up in front of that, you got your 2 cup holders and a little slot for your key fob, but there's no other places to stick a phone or anything like that. Now, coming back to the shifter, this is an electronic shifter. Just going to pull back for drive. You can bump to the right if you want to do some manual shifting, and you also have paddle shifters. And when you go up in the opposite direction into reverse, you will be greeted with a 360-degree camera system on all but the base trim level. And it is newly available this year on the base trim level as an option. Now, as far as this camera itself, it is very advanced. You'll see it has the bending abilities with the active trajectory, and then the coolest part, of course, is going into the 3D view and being able to spin around the entire vehicle and all of its surroundings. So this is certainly one of the best 360 cameras in the auto industry. Then for park, just press the P, and then right behind it you will notice an electronic parking brake. But carrying on from that, the next thing we come to is our audio system. So most of the models are going to come standard with a 730 watt 19 speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is what we have on board. So let's go ahead and take a sample of it. So overall sound quality of this system is spectacular. Now there is a $5,000 optional Bang & Olufsen sound system, which you can get, but you probably won't need that unless you're just a super audiophile. Okay, so let's take a look here at our lower display. So just like in most of the Audi models, you have two displays. The main one is 10.1 inches, the lower one is 8.6 inches. They're both touch displays and they both work with the MMI touch response system. So the lower display is mostly to do with your climate controls. So the standard setup for your climate is going to be a 3-zone automatic setup on the premium trim, and then all the rest of them have 4-zone automatic climate control. As far as making adjustments, it is very simple. You just drag up and down on this to adjust your temperature. You can do the same over there for your fan speeds. And then you can also access the rear climate controls by pressing into this and then going into the rear mode. Now you also notice we have our heated seats. 3-stage heated seats are going to be standard equipment. And then the 3-stage ventilated seats, those are standard on the Prestige level models or also available in the warm weather package. Alright, so let's take a quick look around the main functions of the MMI touch response system. Now we do have a dedicated tech help video available if you want to learn more detailed information about the system. But as far as the main functions, some of the things you have on board is going to be standard navigation. That's going to include, of course, the Google Earth Maps, like we've already pointed out. You'll also notice that you have the ability to wirelessly connect to Apple CarPlay, and you can also use Android Auto as well. Now up top you will notice an auto-dimming mirror with frameless design and a compass. That is standard equipment, and then HomeLink universal remotes are located inside of the system itself. And then up top you've got a standard panoramic sunroof. As you can see, this is a really large piece of glass, goes all the way back past the second row headrest and really makes for a nice and open feel inside of this cabin.
Now, sitting in the Q7's rear seat is obviously a very nice place to spend time, as it has been in all of the previous Q7s we've reviewed. Now, as far as the space itself is going to be concerned, you have 39 inches of both leg and headroom, which does place it above the BMW X7. However, it is less than the Mercedes GLS, depending on what you're comparing this Q7 to. Now, as far as how it's behind your seat position, I would say probably 8 to 9 inches of rear leg room thanks to the knee cutouts, and my feet can easily slide up underneath the seat. So a lot of space back here for you and all of your family. Now, as far as the feature set, you are going to get a lot, especially with this Q7 Prestige model. So all of them are going to have rear vents, and you also have some on the B-pillar. And you're also all going to have climate controls back here. However, it is going to be 4-zone standard on the Prestige model. Another thing that you're going to get standard with the Prestige, new for 2021, is heated rear seats. That used to be in the cold weather package. And then down below, we have a 12-volt outlet as well as 2 USB Type-C ports. And then if we fold down the armrest, we do have a fold-down armrest with cup holders inside, and you're also going to have standard rear window sunshades on the Prestige. Let's go ahead and check out the third row of the Q7. So as far as getting back here, all you have to do is locate this little button right here. That will fold the seat down. Then you just push this, and that will release and kind of fold the seat up so you can get back into the third row. Now, sitting back here, the Q7 doesn't have the largest third row in the segment, that's for sure. It's definitely less than what you're going to get in a BMW X7, Mercedes GLS. I think the Acura MDX is also a little bit better than this as well. So not a great third row. As you can see, my thigh support is not great. However, I can put my feet up underneath the seat, which definitely helps out in terms of the space since there's only 29 inches of rear legroom back here. As far as the amenities, we have a cup holder. However, you're also going to be missing out on rear vents, which I really wish Audi would add. Now walking up to the tailgate, Audi has nicely thrown in a hands-free Power One standard across the board. So all you have to do is locate the sensor up under the bumper here and kick, and it will open right up. And once it opens up, you are going to find a decent amount of space here in the Q7 cargo department. So you're going to have 14 cubic feet behind the third row seats. That expands to 38 cubic feet if you fold them. And then as a maximum, you have 72 cubic feet. That is quite a bit less than the main rivals like the XC90, BMW X7, and GLS. However, it's an okay amount of space for most families. As far as the carpeting on the floor, it's really quite nice. Up underneath, we have a subwoofer. On the left side, we have a little storage compartment, and we do also have a power folding third row, which is a nice touch. And it folds decently fast. However, I do wish it was just the one-touch style instead of having to hold it down. Now, as far as your passenger seat, you do have the same adjustments as the driver, which is quite nice. And in front, we have an absolutely massive glove box. I mean, I have no other words to describe how big this is. It just swallows the coupons up. So definitely enough coupons for you and anyone in the third row, anyone in this vehicle is going to have coupons to eat. And then as far as the sun visor up top, we have a mirror. You can also detach it. And this is the two-part opening sun visor. So you have two sun visors, so you can actually block it from both sides, which is a really nice touch.
It's quick.
Wow. And very, very, very smooth and just refined sounding.
So this is, of course, Audi's signature 3-liter turbo V6 engine with the mild hybrid system. And it's producing 335 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque.
Now, this engine is standard on the Prestige model. However, they do offer another engine, the 45. So they call the 3-liter the 50 TFSI 55, and then the 45 is a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder, 248 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. So you're going to have quite a bit of a power increase if you go for the 55 model, and I can definitely speak, from a luxury perspective, you're probably going to want that engine compared to the 2-liter engine.
Right, the 0 to 60 on this is below 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's really quick for a 3-row, and that's not even the SQ7, which we drove a little earlier in the year, which is absolutely crazy. Now, as far as the other aspects of the powertrain, you've got an 8-speed automatic transmission, and for the Q7, it's going to be paired with standard quattro all-wheel drive. Now, we'll see if this red light is red, and we'll be coming to a stop. I want you to pay attention to the tachometer, which I'll make bigger.
Yeah, the special part about the mild hybrid.
So you see how we're still moving? The car is already off. So that's part of the mild hybrid system, powering advanced auto start-stop. So the electrical components allow it to shut off and also come back on very, very smoothly.
Yeah. And I will say that having the mild hybrid, that's really the best way to do an auto start-stop system. You don't feel it, you don't hear it, because when you're already in motion, if it turns off, you're not going to feel that vibration. So it's really an exceptional auto start-stop system, and that's only going to be if you get the TFSI 55 model.
And I will go ahead and say that is today's slam dunk. Just the overall smoothness of this powertrain, really smooth, refined V6 engine, but also paired with the mild hybrid, which makes the auto start-stop system exceptional.
Nice. And since he mentioned the slam dunk, I will go ahead and throw in the airball as well. So for today's airball, we're thinking that it's going to be the third row. Now, I know you're probably like, well, I mean, the third row, it's okay. It's not the worst thing in the entire segment. However, I do think that they should at least throw in some features. It's not that spacious, and on top of that, Audi doesn't throw in vents, which I think is pretty outrageous for something that costs as much as this does. So I think that Audi could definitely improve the third row with the upcoming model years. And while we're going around 50 miles an hour, I will go ahead and get a sound sample since it is exceptionally quiet in here. Wow. Going 50 miles an hour, we're sitting at 50.6 decibels, so barely above 50, making that one of the lowest readings that we've ever gotten. This is, when I say it's quiet on the inside, it is very quiet on the inside. The Prestige is also going to add additional touches like the dual pane glass to really make it just exceptionally quiet and comfortable in here.
As far as the ride quality, we have the air suspension, so that gives the kind of a dual character for this Q7, one of the things that I like about it. We're cruising along the automatic mode, so just tremendously comfortable. You really just don't feel any road imperfections or anything like that. I can pop it into dynamic mode, and that's going to tighten everything down a good deal, so this can actually be a pretty sporty drive for a 3-row once you get it in dynamic mode.
And I want to point out that this thing has 22-inch alloy rims on it, and it really rides just, I mean, it's insane. Like this right there, that was just a pretty big road imperfection, and you'd feel absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the fuel economy is concerned for the Q7, the 55 model is going to have it's okay fuel economy. I'm a little curious as to why this mild hybrid engine doesn't get as good a fuel economy as some of the competition, but you're going to be rated at 17 city, 21 highway, 18 combined for this Q7, which is around 3 to 4 mpg worse than what you're going to get in some of the rivals like the BMW X7 and Mercedes GLS. So this mild hybrid, even though it does have a really, really smooth everyday livability with it, it's not really going to benefit you much in the fuel economy. Alrighty, and let's go ahead and discuss the pricing for the Q7. Now, like we've kind of been mentioning throughout this entire review, this does compete with, technically compete against stuff like the BMW X7 and GLS. However, it is going to have quite a bit of a cheaper price tag, so you're really looking more like a Volvo XC90 or Acura MDX competitor, since the premium starts at $54,950. If you go for the premium with the 55, that's $60,080, and then the premium plus is $57,200 with the 55 at $63,800, and then the Prestige comes standard with TFSI 55 at $72,000. Now, this one in particular does have quite a substantial list of options added onto the Prestige, including that black optic package and the destination charge of $1,095, brings this one to $78,715.
But overall, the Q7 remains a luxury 3-row that we can easily recommend. You know, it really checks off a lot of boxes. And if you're shopping for a luxury 3-row, I feel like it's definitely something that you should go by your Audi dealership and check out in person, because it may just be the one for you.
Well, guys, we really appreciate you watching this in-depth review of the 2021 Audi Q7 Prestige. We really appreciate you watching, and if you made it this far in the video, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. All it's going to do is give you notifications on all of our most recent content. And we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.